welcome to Life It's Crazy Sometimes. My name's Amber Hooper and I am your host. And today we're going to be talking once again a little bit about anxiety and ways to help cope with that. Last time I talked about breathing, so some easy, quick breathing techniques for deep breathing. Square breathing is what some people call it, smell a rose. It's basically in for, using your diaphragm. You take a deep breath in your nose and then you count to 4 and then breathe it out your mouth and count to 4. So for in-depth instructions on that, you can watch my video from last week. And this week we're going to talk about another strategy for helping with anxiety called grounding. So grounding is going to mix together breathing and it adds in another element. And the reason that it's called grounding is because basically what it means is exactly that. We're trying to focus on the here and now. When our mind gets caught up in all of this anxiety and worry and we start freaking out about the future, or what about this, or what about that, or what if this happens, or what if that happens, our minds can just kind of start rolling and snowballing. So what we want to do is kind of reel that in and bring ourselves back and kind of ground. And just feel present and in the here and now instead of being so overcome by the future and the thoughts of the future. So what you would want to do with grounding is it is important to know how to do deep breathing. And so what you'll do is you're going to breathe in a couple of breaths. So like I had said last time, you're going to breathe in your nose, hold for 4 seconds, make sure your diaphragm's expanded, and then breathe out your mouth. Then do a couple more breaths like that. And the first thing you're going to want to do is notice 5 things that you see. So right now, if I was to do a couple of deep breaths, I do a couple more. And then for me, I would think, oh, I see my white table in front of me. And I can take a couple more deep breaths. And then I'd say, I see my plant hanging outside. And I take a couple more deep breaths and I'd say, oh, I see that the sky is cloudy and it's starting to rain. I take a couple more deep breaths and I'd say, oh, I see my car outside and I see my sidewalk. Then you can take a few deep breaths and then imagine, not only imagine, but actually identify the things that you hear. For me, I may hear my refrigerator running. It could be I hear cars driving by. I might hear a dog barking. I might hear the water running from the washing machine. If I'm outside, I might hear kids laughing. I might hear birds chirping. So you're going to pay attention to the different things that you hear. And then take a couple more deep breaths and then 5 things that you can touch. It could just be I can touch my table. I could touch my ear, I could touch my bracelet, my watch. For me, I have a lot of different things because I have a lot of rings and different things on. If I had earrings, or it could just be that you're touching the chair that you're sitting in. Or you could even get up. You don't have to stay stationary. You could get up and walk over and just touch the wall. Or you could touch the chair across the room. Basically, what you're trying to do is distract yourself from all of the craziness going on in your head. Then after you can identify the 5 things that you can touch, just take a couple more deep cleansing breaths and then just remind yourself, I'm here, I'm now. Everything is going to be okay. Maybe you don't know how it's going to be okay, but just reminding yourself, like, I can get through this. And telling yourself those positive things. And if you start to kind of get worked up again and start thinking about all those negative things again and the anxiety, take some more deep breaths and do the grounding exercise again if you need to. So again, the grounding exercise is to focus you on the here and now. And it's taking a few deep cleansing breaths using your diaphragm, doing 3 to 4 breaths, and then you're going to identify 5 things that you see, take a few more cleansing breaths, identify 5 things that you hear, take a few more cleansing breaths, and then you'll identify 5 things that you can touch, take a few more cleansing breaths, and then just remind yourself, I'm here and now, this is what I need to focus on. And if you can't identify 5 things you can see, hear, or touch, if you can only do 3, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 5. But the more that you do, the more distracted it gets you. So that's kind of the whole point, is just trying to figure out, how can I stay in the here and now and not let my mind run away with things? So again, this is another technique you can use for when you're feeling really anxious and there's a lot going on. And if you want to read some more tips that I have, you can go ahead and go over to the blog. I put some information on the blog from last week for anxiety, and I'll copy some over for this week. And just try some of these different techniques. Hopefully they help. If you have any ideas, shoot them my way, or if you have questions, let me know. And hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you next time. Thanks.